Okay, here we go. Okay, didn't Kole say Sumeru City have been pretty lively lately? Aren't you even a little curious? Um, Sounds fun to me. Right? Paimon agrees. Then let's go see what's going on. For our first stop, maybe we'll start with the academia. That's where all the info is, after all. The gossip is, because, like, aren't we looking for excitement? Not books? Oh, there she is! Oh, I didn't see her. She was so small, I didn't see her. I'm learning Korean. I guess to some degree. I live in Korea, so I should be. Look, that's Faruzan over there. Do you think we should ask? There will be no Korean right now though because there's no voice lines in this quest. But yeah, welcome in Nefi. We are doing the main no, sorry, not main, the side quest in Simulanka. Oh, even just glancing at the borrowing records gives me flashbacks to how awful that book was. How irritating. Faruzan, what are you doing talking to yourself over here? I am Madame Faruzan after all. It's not out of place for me to mull things over out loud, wouldn't you say? But in this case, never mind, forget about it. Why'd the two of you suddenly decide to drop by? Well, about that, we heard something about a party and didn't want to miss out. A party? Kole told us that Sumeru's the place to be now. Apparently, tons of interesting things are happening, so we thought we'd ask around. Any idea what she was talking about? Interesting things? What might Kole find interesting? Tinari's tail getting so fluffed up like a ball of tumbleweed? Or Sino climbing a tree and getting his hood caught on a branch? What? Whoa, we really missed all that. Seriously, and nobody thought to tell me? Still, she said there was something big everyone's been talking about. Can you think of anything slightly more significant? More significant. Ah, is something the matter, madam? Well, now that you mention it, it must be what I think it is. What is it? Tell me. Tinari puffed up like an angry cat. Would be so cute to see. Recently, rumors have been going around about a certain book. Eek, that's a classic horror story opening. It's not some kind of forbidden tome or anything like that, is it? Forbidden tome? Huh, as far as I'm concerned, it might as well be. Tell me, have you ever read one of those really, really, really badly written detective novels? No. I don't think I have. Paimon has. Paimon has. Tell me exactly how bad it was. Leave this to Paimon. For example, the type where you start off thinking it's a locked room door mystery. Oh, locked room murder mystery, but it actually turns out that the whole building was just moved. That's right, or it's supposed to be based on pure reasoning and logical deduction, but at the end it turns out that the culprit has some kind of superpower. Exactly, or it starts out super serious, but in the second half, it just reveals that everyone lost their memories out of the blue. Or it's set in a mountain village in the middle of a snowstorm, and the police officer who's been portrayed as a serious figure throughout the whole story suddenly turns out to be the murderer, without even the slightest hint of foreshadowing. You're both being way too specific. You'll offend half the crime novelists in Tevat if you keep going. My apologies. I let myself get a bit carried away there for a moment. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I did borrow a book like that a few days past. So you borrowed a badly written book? But that happens to the best of us. No, that's the problem. Blizzard-swept mountain villages, superpowers, police officers who turn out to be criminals. This book had it all, and more. Reading it was tantamount to torture. Or tantamount. Reading that was tantamount to torture. Oh my gosh. Alliteration. And despite how complicated it wasn't engaging in the slightest. A Colleen Hoover mystery novel. Oh my gosh, you're right. You're right. Imagine we're mid-Fontaine Archon quest and we pause to check out postcards and it's from Faruzan and it says, "Oh ho ho, Tinari's tail is so fluffy." No, opportunity missed. But there have been all sorts of rumors circulating about this book. Because of the strange marks drawn all over the pages, people are saying that it must be concealing secrets. Do you think there's treasure involved? I'm not sure, but there are many who believe so. Not only have more and more people been borrowing it, but they've all been specifically asking for the marked up copy. Have you borrowed it too? Yes, I have. As you all know, I am a scholar, so it's only natural to have a bit of curiosity. So, just what secrets does the book at the center of the rumors actually hold? I read through carefully from start to finish. Most of the marks are circles, but the beginning and end marks of each stroke differ, as does the color of the ink used. Most importantly, all the names of people in the book have been circled. Not only that, many of them are adapted from famous figures in Sumeru's history. Some speculate that these marks must have been left by different scholars over the eras, each researching the book's secrets, each searching for a name they believed in. Others believe that they are a kind of notation made by different people belonging to the same organization, and that the names circled are their code names. Still others think that this is some kind of encryption cipher, but even after finishing it, I came no closer to uncovering the mystery. Not only was reading it a complete waste of my time, but the sheer absurdity of the shoddy excuse for a plot several times over. I was so angry that I returned the book immediately, and when I came to the house of Dana today, I found lots of people skulking around. I suppose they're all still looking for that thing. No wonder you zoned out like that. Paymon's guessing you won't be borrowing any more detective novels anytime soon. Indeed. Paymon, Traveler, surely the two of you must understand how I feel. Don't worry, madam. I feel your frustration. What's the book called? We'll borrow it and take a look ourselves. It's called Reasoning Knows Not the Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard. You sure it's a detective novel? It sounds more like the title of a light novel. Tell me about it. Anyway, read it at your own risk. It truly is unbearably boring. I can't wait for Tevat to invent webtoons. I hope Faduzan is digging up all the BL. You want to know what kind of books I like? The spectrum is just so broad, I don't know where to start. Faruzan BL curator. She is a cultured woman, right? There's so many books with long titles here. Let Paymon have a look. Working Hard and Vacationing Harder. What the heck? An Atlas of Rare Rainforest-Dwelling Species, Professional Edition. The Art of the Construction of Coffee Machines. Who exactly reads this? Secrets of the Elemental Sciences. The book jacket even says, expert approved. The former sage Cyrus praises this as an excellent entry-level book. And this one, a compilation and summary of common basic grammar rules for rare languages of ancient desert peoples. I bet that Alhaitham has read this one. Now Paymon's dizzy. It's just so many words. Come on, Paymon, you can learn 20 different... Huh? Is that Layla over there? Ooh, Layla! Let's just ask her. She may know something. Also, sorry for inconsistency of voices. I have no idea what I'm doing, so... Traveler, Paymon, it's been so long. I'm still a bit tired. Didn't sleep well last night? I was reading a novel, so I stayed up late. It wasn't that detective novel that everyone's been talking about, was it? The one with the super long name. Uh-huh. Ah, no, if you're talking about Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always follows, Blizzard. Oh, right, yes. No, it wasn't that one. Madame Faruzan said it was really dull, so I didn't borrow it. Oh, so you're not interested in the book Secrets? I haven't even been able to keep up with my own work, even though I'm late all the time these days. But way more people have been interested in the book than I ever imagined. 7 or 8 in a single morning. I feel like a living signboard sitting here like this. Oh, people keep waking her up? Kaveh asked me the same question, so he must be looking for it too. He was even hiding behind a ladder before looking for something. He looked really embarrassed. Searching? Hiding for something? Hiding behind a ladder? He must be after Mora. That's gotta be it, so he can hurry up and pay off his debt to... Wow, Paymon. Wait, no, let's just pretend Paymon didn't say anything. Layla, you're really sleepy, right? You must be dreaming this conversation. I didn't really get it anyway, but if you say so, it's a dream. Thank you. We'll keep on looking. Okay, see you next time. Nice transition. Kaveh, stop checking out BL. This is the BL corner. It's not often Layla falls asleep so quickly. Good for her. Paimon thinks we should go ask Kaveh now. If he's searching for the book, he must know something. But where is he now? Good question. But we can try hanging around where he might show up. There's a good chance he's there right now, right? The tavern. Straight to the gaslighting, right? Do you ever think we seem like a pair of thieves hiding here to ambush Kaveh? It almost feels like we're here to extort him or something. Payman's not sure why that is, though. We just want to ask him a couple of questions, that's all. You made that up in your own head. Don't make it sound like we're the baddies. When have you ever been bothered by your conscience? That sounds like footsteps. Quick, let's take a look. Stop right there, cop. It's my favorite character, you guys. I'll hide them. What are you doing here? Good question. Surprising indeed. I was under the impression that you knew I lived here. He really loves sarcasm. Good morning. Good morning. What can I do for you? Nothing. Never mind. Oh, goodbye then. Don't forget to Nahida scan people. Oh, you're right. We can do that. Oh, he's gone though. Does he have work to do? Footsteps again. They're heading towards the door. Stop right there, Kaveh. What are you two doing here? Good question. Surprising indeed. Paimon was under the impression that you'd know the only reason we'd be here was if we were looking for you. That is very silly, Paimon. I love that Paimon is trying to sound like I'll hide them, but with a much sillier answer. Yeah, half of them don't hang around. Paimon, you don't sound like yourself. Looking for a certain book by any chance? Caught in the act, admitted. At their own house. Wait, what? Here's the deal. Traveler and Paimon pull Kaveh to one side. I didn't read all of that, damn it. How is it you guys know everything? And there I was, thinking I'd been super discreet the whole time. No one should have noticed. Come on, get real. You really think that no one knows you live here? Hey, that's not fair. Of course no one knows. Except for Sino, Tinari, Kole, and two of you. Right? Kaveh, please. We know about your BL. Yes, we know about the novels. Friends are friends, so if they know, well, they know. But what if a stranger overheard us? It would be a disaster. It might even impact my career. Anyway, about that book. You believe it contains intel about hidden treasure, don't you? Looking to get rich quick, are we? Yeah. Are you offering to help find it? Shucks, why didn't you say so earlier? So, there really is treasure. How about this? We help you find it, then split the loot 50-50. It's a deal. Traveler, after all we've been through, it's finally our turn to get rich. No need to keep yapping. Hidden treasure the Paimon probes home in Ananya. What? Huh? Hey, Paimon. Huh? Is that Deya? Oh my gosh, everyone keeps disappearing. Wow, we haven't seen her in a while. What is this? Peterland. Traveler and Paimon? Must be my lucky day running into you like this. Deya, you mercenaries are pretty tuned into the grapevine. Have you ever heard of a book called Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard? Wait, are you guys looking for it too? By two? You don't mean you're looking for it too? Darn it, does that mean we're finally gonna have to square off against Deya? Wait a minute, would you mind telling me exactly why you're looking for it? Go over the rumors. If it really does turn out to be something important, I'll be sure to let you know if I hear anything. Whoa, really? From your reaction before, Payman thought you were after it too. Don't worry, a client had asked me to get her the book, but her attitude seemed off somehow, so I didn't take the commission. Ooh, a client. She's a smart cookie, though, and it was like she was hiding something, so I thought she must have had an ulterior motive. Besides, I have other things to look into right now. Compared to some commission, it's more important that you uncover the truth behind that book. Oh, never mind, I read that incorrectly. Compared to some commission, it's more important that you uncover the truth behind that book. Anyway, no time to lose. I've got to get going. All right, then, good luck. And don't forget to tell us if you hear anything. And she sachets off. I wonder who Dia's client could be. Hey! How are you so fast? Flying's faster than running? Having been through so much, I run fast. You're falling asleep? That's fair. It's very late now, isn't it? All right, listen to me. It's like this. Awake again, I got it. Paimon, don't get your hopes up. That book, it isn't some kind of treasure map. It's just an unbelievably, unremarkably, surprisingly ordinary detective novel. Huh? But didn't you just say there was treasure? If most people backtrack like that, Paimon just think they'd change their mind and wanted to keep all the more for themselves, but that's not something you'd do. No, I'm sorry. I just couldn't bring myself to tell you earlier, so I played along with what you were saying. Here's what happened. I borrowed the book a month ago. When I opened it to the first page, I discovered one of the names was printed incorrectly. That night, I'd been drinking, just a little, and I was starting to feel drowsy, so I picked up a pen and circled the name. And as you sure know, the House of Dana allows borrowers to annotate the books they take out. I'm in the habit of doing that too, so at the time, I didn't give it a second thought. But after I was a dozen or so pages in, I realized that the names of all the characters in the book had intentionally been written slightly wrong. Maybe it would be more accurate to say that the novel itself was quite strange. All the characters' names were based on real historical figures, but rather than using their original names, they'd been tweaked ever so slightly. Most people would assume that the author had made a mistake or that there'd been a printing error when they saw spelling mistakes like that. I didn't find the content particularly appealing, so I returned it before I finished reading it. But later on, I heard that the book had suddenly become the talk of the town, and that there were rumors about mysterious treasure or something. And you thought it had something to do with you? It certainly does sound like it. Yeah, and I also heard that now all the names in the book have been circled, not just one. I just haven't been able to figure out what in Tevat must have happened after I returned it. He writes, I'll Alhaitam sucks. Why is he so hot on a whole bunch of books? While drunk? Yeah, I could see that. Did you tell anyone else that you borrowed it? Let me think. Tinari? Last time we met, I told him all about how poorly parts of the book are written. He said I'd made it sound pretty funny, so much so, in fact, that he suddenly wanted to take a look himself. You made it sound like it was so bad it was good. In that case, let's go find Tinari. That's fine with me, but I still have some work to finish up, and it's pretty urgent. How about I head back first, and we can meet up again later once I'm done? No problem. Hope your work goes well. Me too, thanks. See you later then. Oh, he's gone too. Over there. Over there. Hey, Tinari. I heard you. How's it going? You guys sure look excited. Did something good happen? Sorry. Oshino Meme came out. Tell Tinari. Reflect once more on how absurdly long the title is. Ah, that one. Yes, I did go to the House of Dana to borrow it. Kave said it wasn't worth reading, but I was curious, so I went and read it anyway. Hey, are you my half-sister? I was gonna ask the same. So Emily's mother, unfortunately, is not Kave's mother. Emily's mother is, I think, also, she works in, like, law enforcement, criminal investigation. I forget exactly what her job is. Her dad is a member of the Maréchaussée Hunters. The problem was there were already two names circled in the book I borrowed, and the style of each circle was different. It was like some kind of game. Someone had drawn a red circle around the name of the first character that appeared, then someone else had drawn a green circle around another name. Red and green are Kaveh and Alhaitam's colors. So in the time between Kaveh returning the book and you taking it back out again, someone else had already annotated it. That's right. Payman's sure that the first circle was drawn by Kaveh. Yes, no surprise there. If you stop and think about it for a second, guessing the identity of the second annotator should be trivial. Wait, you mean it was... If there are two people living in a house and one of them drew the first circle, then it's highly likely that the other person left a mark too. Good point. See, even he figured it out. Sometimes those two are really too much. In the end, it's as I suspected from the beginning. The first character whose name had been circled on the very first page turned out to be the murderer. Surely that's just a blatant spoiler. Like the joke where someone opens a novel and bam, there's a note in the margin that spoils everything right from the start. Yeah, Kaveh, how dare you? It's a crime in Fontaine. What kind of joke would be so cruel? That was one of Cyrus's, and it wasn't just a joke. He said he actually pulled a stunt like that when he was younger. Wow, Cyrus. Who was unlucky enough to borrow the book after he'd scribbled all over it? My master Nafis and Professor Zahadi, who had a seminar with him that very afternoon. Cyrus said that the master once threatened to give him a good beating by the side entrance of the House of Dana. It was only thanks to my mother and Professor Zahadi intervening that it didn't happen. Man, we're getting like history lessons. This is too many names to remember. Payman doesn't sympathize with Cyrus at all, not one bit. The House of Dana has never stopped people from annotating books, but this seemed like a special case. I didn't think the book could be allowed to keep circulating like that. Do it, beat him, it's hot. So I circled several names myself, leaving a false trail. Aw, that's cute. The best place to hide a leaf is in the forest. It's a simple principle. Well, when you put it like that, but still. How many names did you circle, Tinari? Let me think. Not too many. About 3 or 4. I chose them all randomly. Then who circled the other names in the book? There must have been others who borrowed it and did something similar. I'm just not sure why. Who would have thought borrowing books could be so complicated? This is what happens when you're allowed to write in the library books. Right? Oh my gosh. It sounds like a plot to a rom-com though, right? Like leaving notes to each other in a book and then you like meet up one day. Not too many, times 4 what you did. All right, let's go see if there are any other clues. The line disappeared, but that's okay. Hang on. First, I add Nahida to the party. Okay. I've been wanting to read some popular science books lately. Okay. Seems like there's a story behind that story. Okay. A story behind that story. All right. Oh, look, there's Deha. Let's tell her what the real story is. Huh? Candace is there too. Oh. Of course, they're on another date. So, I need to reflect a little on what I did. What happened? To meet you here today is surely due to the guidance of the gods. Greetings. Candace, is this a personal trip? Today's trip to the city is to buy provisions for the people of Aru village, as well as to help Miss Sataria deliver a message to the sages of the academia while I'm here. On the way, I happened to see Deya sitting in the cafe looking down, so I came over to chat with her. Don't worry, it's nothing serious. It's just that I suddenly remembered a few details about that book after talking with you. Before that client had even contacted me, I heard rumors of an exciting novel full of undiscovered secrets. Out of curiosity, I asked Sino to take it out for me. As a desert dweller, and a mercenary to boot, the idea of solving a mysterious treasure map is pretty exciting. Payman totally gets that. We inherited our custom of searching for gold and wisdom in the sands from the gods themselves. But that book turned out to be as dry as dust. A bunch of names had been circled, but I still couldn't figure out what the puzzle was supposed to be, despite reading the whole thing through carefully from start to finish. In the end, I started to think it was some kind of ritual or game or something. So I picked up a pen and drew a circle of my own. I like that everyone's response to this vandalism is just to continue to vandalize it. But later on, Miss Dunyarzad asked her parents to find a way to borrow it for her. She said the mysterious markings fascinated her, even though she couldn't get back into the book itself. If they were just regular annotations, it wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary, but these strange circles, you can't help but want to try and figure out what they might mean. That's true. So, Dea, what you're reflecting on is having accidentally interfered with other people's reading experiences. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. Wait, hold on a second. Why did you tell Candace? She's a warrior, you know. Sometimes she has to interrogate criminals and other things like that, too. Everyone recognizes that her job is sacred, so when we need to think over what we've done wrong, we'll talk to her about it. She's like a priest. Please, don't be too surprised. To me, listening to other people's mistakes is just another way of protecting them. Wow, she's like holy. By speaking of your own mistakes and hearing sincere advice in return, improvement will come over time. That's the way we do things. But all she did was draw a circle, and it's not like she was deliberately trying to mess with anyone. Besides, everyone agrees that the book itself is just bad. Don't worry about it, Dea. That's true. I was just telling Candace how bizarre it is. But be that as it may, it doesn't change the fact that it just ain't right to mess... Okay. It just isn't right to mess with someone else's enjoyment of a book. That's the bottom line. Anyway, Dea, please have faith that the gods will forgive your transgression. Besides, you told me about a part of the story where one of the suspects in the case ended up crawling out of the village on his hands and knees, and he was named Amal. That's right. The detective in the book argued that he must have leapt across the broken bridge like a frog. Of course, you find out later on his conjecture was totally off base. Why is that? Because it turns out that Amal has a superpower, so he could float right across the broken bridge. What the heck is the book even about? It just sounds completely ludicrous. Yeah, this sounds like a really silly book. Amal. It's simply too reminiscent of the good name of King Deshret, don't you think? Though considering how transgressive this book sounds, I don't think it's worth overthinking it. You're right. You know, I can't help but wonder what our friends at the Temple of Silence would say if they somehow got their hands on this book. I'm sure those sages would be able to unpack interesting ideas from the text we ordinary people could scarce dream of. It's normal for there to be bridges outside blizzard-swept mountain villages, and normal for them to get broken, but for a person to cross one by floating through the air, why resort to such a lame plot device? Sounds like something more out of a comic strip. Paymon's starting to get where Farazan's coming from. If you've gotten all excited about reading a detective novel, but ended up reading a tripe like that instead, better not to even think about it. So where's the book now? Not sure. I returned it after I was done reading it, and back then there weren't as many markings inside as the rumors say there are. All right, then Detective Paymon is still on the case. Oh, I hope she wears her detective eyes, or glasses, or monocle. Kiss, kiss, fall in love. Wait, what? Good night. Good night, Beck. I just saw the good night message, or the I'm gonna sleep message rather. I hope the Kiss Kiss Fall in Love was about Deya and Candace. Paymon's feeling lost. Maybe we should head back to the house of Dana? Okay, let's use Nahida again. Sure didn't expect things to turn out like this. I'll have to be a bit more careful next time. Careful with reading? I haven't been around here in a long time. It hasn't changed a bit. Okay. Who could have predicted this? It's precisely because it's unpredictable that you shouldn't blame yourself. She's so nice. She's like such a big sister, you know? Yeah, the GL girlies are always just sitting at a table, aren't they? It's not, okay. Hello. Has reasoning knows not time of day, but suspense always follows a blizzard been returned yet? There are 2 copies of this book. One's been marked up, the other hasn't. I'm guessing you're looking for the one with the marks. Ah, you saw right through us. Many others have asked for it too. I apologize, though. It seems it hasn't been returned yet. Please come back again later. Can't you at least tell us who borrowed it? Well, as long as it isn't overdue, we'll wait patiently for it to be returned. Disclosing borrowers' identities without proper reason for doing so would be a violation of professional ethics, so you'll have to forgive me for keeping that information confidential. Yeah, good on her. They're on a date, they are. You've got a point. It would be terrible if someone looking to steal a book started harassing whoever had borrowed it. I don't know who's talking, so I don't know what voice to use, but that's all right. Hey, you two look as confused as a couple of Aranara who've just run into each other head first. Are you looking for something? I can help. Is it Nahida? It is Nahida! Wow, I figured it out based on the language clues. That's Nahida's voice. Hi there. Nahida, have you heard of a book called Reasoning Knows Not Time of Day, but Suspense Always Follows a Blizzard? Such a long name. But yes, I know the one you mean. I heard that everyone was looking for it and it sounded fascinating, so I found a brand new copy to read myself. By brand new, do you mean it wasn't the copy with all the markings on it? Yes, that's right. I was more interested in the contents of the book itself than all those rumors about hidden treasure, so an unmarked copy was all I needed. Speaking of which, it's funny. There's more than one copy of this book, but everyone's looking for the one where all the names have been circled. Are they all afraid of spoilers, or do they actually crave them? Oh, then do you know who has the copy with the markings right now? I just so happen to have seen it in the hands of one of your friends. If you're looking for the copy that sparked all the rumors, you should look around near the palace of Alcazar Zare. Oh no, it's Dory. Why did she call us a friend? Yeah, literally God is joining. God is bored, all right? Oh no, is it Dory? Treasure would be something Dory would be interested in. Oh! Oh, it's not Dory. Thank goodness. Oh, it is Dory. Oh, speaking of Sethos. He is here. Sethos is smart and wants to kiss Wanderer. I'll send the last two parts of the combat event tomorrow. Okay. Is that Dory, Sino, and Sethos? Who's Sethos? Just kidding. Ah, darn you, General Mahamatra. Entrapment isn't gonna work. You can't do that. Hey, what do you mean by entrapment? You were the one who said you had the book. I said I wanted to read it. Then you agreed to meet me here. Sino showing up too is just a coincidence. Pure coincidence. I like him. He's crafty. You don't play games with me. I know who you are. You're that new kid Sethos, right? I know you're a friend of Sino's. Huh, so you do know who I am. I saw how Sino was chasing you around trying to get you to play cards, and how you found an excuse to run off after a couple of rounds right after. That left quite an impression. You didn't have to mention that. No, I think Dory's right about that. You always look for a way out when it comes to playing Invocation. It's becoming quite a problem. He's a sub who tries to act dumb. Traveler and Paimon, you've been standing there for quite a while. Ah, if it isn't my dear Traveler and Paimon. What brings the two of you to that palace of Alcazarze? Alcazarze. Oh, okay, I can't pronounce. Crafty is the perfect word for Sethos. Might it be that you've come to do business with me, the Lord Sangamabe? Of course, of course. Please, give me a moment to conclude our business here, and I'll be with you straight away. Anyway, General Mahamatra, as I'm sure you're well aware, the means by which I had someone borrow this book from the House of Dana were both completely legal and perfectly reasonable. Seeing as it isn't time to return it, you have no right to forcibly seize a book I borrowed. That would only be the case had you not engaged in any irregular activities. Yet just now, a buyer, Sethos, came to the palace of Alcazarze on the basis of a mysterious message to meet a seller, hoping in vain to purchase a detective novel. What do you mean, buyer? He's one of your people. You sent him here to deliberately try to buy it and entrap me. That is not something I can acknowledge. What I can tell you is that I've had my eyes on this book for some time. Remember, it is forbidden to transfer or sell books from the House of Dana without explicit approval from the relevant authorities. So this all happened just because Sino also wants in on this mystery. Oh my gosh. Kaveh and Al-Haytham are literally just wreaking havoc with their weird, like, book annotation habits. Like, This is so silly. Actually, who's the real start of this? Maybe it wasn't Kave. I think the person, I think the real culprit behind all of this is actually Tinari, right? Because it makes sense in a way for them to have annotated by just circling a name. But but Kaveh was drunk. Al-Haytham was the one having fun. Maybe, but he circled like one name, right? He just circled one name in green. So I don't know. I think the real culprit is Tinari, who decided to circle additional names at random. Like he's the true chaos here, right? He's the true chaos maker. I'm not selling anything, just to be clear. I'm just making the most of an opportunity. If someone pays me a little something on the side, I lend them this mysterious little novel to browse for fun. If you don't believe me, just ask any of my curious readers. Yes, that's right, your readers. Anyway, I was just showing him the book. Is that so? And here I was thinking you were going to go through with an illegal transaction like this, Sethos. Wait, what? You two really aren't together? I was just really curious about this book. I finally managed to track it down, but Sino, it's true that Dory never actually said she wanted to sell that book. So she isn't the mastermind who started all this? The mastermind? Haha, so by your own account, it seems like you might have jumped the gun a bit, General Mahamatra. I'm not handing the book over. You may think you played an ace story, but when you opened the book just now, I saw the truth revealed before me. The book's return date is today. That Sino sure got sharp eyes. That's right, I do have good vision. You have less than half an hour before the book is overdue. Give it to me and I will return it. How could I just hand it over to you like that? This is a mysterious, super awesome, mega amazing paragon of illogical detective novels that is practically a treasure. I'm going to make a fortune off of it. Should you really be admitting that out loud? I didn't say I was going to sell it. It's not like I was being serious. Then how about this? Dory, Sino, why don't you two play a little game with the book as the stakes? That's one way of solving it. How about it, Dory? Do you dare accept the challenge? If you win, I'll turn a blind eye to the book for the time being, and if you lose, you have to hand it over. Oh, sounds interesting. Very well, I'm in. What's the contest? Are both of you confident in your powers of mental recall? I've already forgotten how I was using or how I was speaking as Sethos. It's gone. He wants to kiss Wander. He knows Sino is married. Tinari turned their BL book game into a conspiracy. He did. I really think Tinari is the reason for this mess, right? Like if we trace it back. My memory's not bad. Yes. And you both have read the contents of the book, correct? That's right. Huh? Sino, you've actually read it? Oh, well, needless to say, so have I. In that case, I'll just open up the book and flip through a few pages, and you tell me how many names have been circled. Best out of 3 wins. Sound good? Eh? That's nuts! What, chickening out? No, it's a game. Let's go. Oh, sorry. No, it's game on. That's what she said. I misread. And I caught it afterwards. Good. In that case, the first page. 6. 6. Both correct. Next, the second page. I think it was 4? I'd say 4. Oh, both of you are right again. 2 draws, so it all hangs on the next question. Listen up. Oh? Page 61. What? I don't quite remember. 7? I know. The answer is 5. Absolutely correct. The answer is 5. Sino, is your memory really that good? I'm not buying it. How did you do that? It's not actually because I have a good memory, but because the circling of the names left a deep impression on me. After I borrowed it, I noticed the names on the first few pages had been selectively circled by different people. Each person's penmanship was different, and moreover, I recognized 3 of the circles as You guys, this is ridiculous. I recognized 3 of the circles as having been drawn by Signati. Few others use the same color of ink as Hida, so it was instantly recognizable. Okay. All right. Fair, I guess, if the color is distinctive. But I was like, how do you recognize his circles? You even know that? They're married, right? Yes, I learned of that habit of his long ago. At that time, I had just been promoted General Mahamatra and would go to a secret base when I wanted to get through all the trivial tasks in my in tray at once with minimal disturbances. I would often find Tinari hidden away on a tree there, doing his homework, noticing the writing implements he favored wasn't exactly detective work. In all these years, he's never once changed the ink he uses. This is cute. We're getting like cute backstory for this BL. Nice. Man, I hope someone's writing fic about that. Back to the book. Anyone who's read it knows that the first name circled is the real murder. Perhaps Tinari did not want the plot to be spoiled for anyone else, so he circled other names. He even got the motive. Oh my gosh. He even got the motive. Annotating or marking a book is not in itself a violation of book barring regulations, but why are all the other marks there? Is there some conspiracy behind them? What do they have to do with Tinari? I want to get to the bottom of this. Oh, he's just trying to protect his boyfriend. Oh. Even it's just for the sake of my friend. And to uncover the secret, you must become a part of the conspiracy. So, I circled all the other names that were left. Oh, this is getting more and more ridiculous. I can't do this, you guys. This is too funny. What? To think you'd do such a thing. So there's no treasure at all? It was just you guys all along? That's right. Should you wish to hide a grain of sand, bury it in the desert. And in the grain of sand, I can catch a glimpse of the truth. And so you were drawn to it, making your plans, yet in a twist of fate were discovered by me. No matter how vast this world is, you cannot run from the long arm of the law. If Shinani starts shit, sign off and finish shit. You're right. You're right. It's their fault together. Oh my gosh. So this started innocently with two husbands, and it is ending with the chaos of two other husbands. That's what I'm getting from this quest. Wow, you're making a meal out of this, aren't you? You really, really have way too much time on your hands. Okay, I give up. You win. Ahem. That's enough for today. It's time for Lord Sangama Bay to return to her room for some repose. Farewell, all. So, do you intend to take this book back to the Temple of Silence? I'd heard there was treasure hidden inside and thought it might have something to do with the temple. I never thought that was the real story behind it. But when you agreed to compete, I had already surmised you were familiar with this book. That's why I chose that particular format. Brilliant move, bro. What? What's with that look? We're just thinking there have been more twists and turns in the story behind the book than the actual story itself. Well, as long as you got it back. I'll leave uncovering the rest of the secrets to you and take my leave for now. See you later, everyone. Can I borrow the book? Of course. This is nuts. This is silly. Sino hands the book over. Something's not right. The plot is wildly imaginative. Most of the names seem familiar. They aren't actually the names of the historical figures. Every name has been circled. And then explain the full story. How unexpected, but still, it does make sense. And it is far better than the existence of an actual conspiracy. In this case, I still have other plans. Last time I was at Caravan Rabat, I promised I'd meet Dehya and Candace for drinks. Could I trouble you to return the book for me? Sure, leave that to me. Thanks, friend. Wow. You guys. This is nonsense. I love it. I love the nonsense. Like, this is such a random side quest. I can see why they didn't really bother to voice it. I still wish they had, because I just love hearing their voices, and I can't do justice to any of these voices. Although, I think I don't do such a bad job at the annoying character. What is the lore of relevance? I don't know, man. I think it's just for fun. Maybe they just added this, like, later as kind of like, you know what? It's summer. People have time. I don't think this relates to Notland. I think it's just nonsense. Yeah, you should do this quest. It's really funny. Well, we're finally back now. Let's just return this book. You finally found the book? Amazing. I've been waiting here for it to be returned so I could see it as soon as possible. Wow. But Ashikai came through. Nice. Though even Ashikai was kind of like, but. Let's put Krumaru in it. Yeah, right? Oh, seriously? How is that even possible? I circled the actual murderer? He didn't even do it on purpose, you guys. He didn't even know. Oh my god, you guys. This makes the whole thing gets worse. You guys. Paymon's pretty surprised by this whole thing too. Let's just take care of the book problem first. Hello, this book. It's probably all my fault for using permanent ink to mark a page, since that caused a whole mess of other things to happen. Now it's all marked up like this, and there's even a risk that those marks spoiling the story. So I'd like to buy it. The whole issue should be avoidable if academia uses the money to buy a new copy. Would you please consider my proposal? Mr. Kave, your idea has merit, and it is indeed a good way to resolve the situation. I'll confirm the book's price now, and then you can pay over there. Oh my gosh, he's just paying more. Drunken savant, yeah. He's just really dumb. He is. It's so funny, because he is a genius of a certain type, but he's also just a dumb blonde, you know? He's just another dumb blonde. That's great. Thank you so much. Shortly afterwards, Kave accompanies the staff to register the price of the purchase of the book, and pays the full amount. What a blunder. Regardless, thank you so much for all your help. It was nothing. We were just kind of along for the ride. Still, Kave, it'd be better if you use something more erasable to make notes in the future. Yeah, use pencils, guys. Do pencils not exist? I understand. I'll never let myself subconsciously correct typesetting errors ever again. If it's subconscious, do you have a choice? Hi, Kathy. No, I mean, I'll never again borrow a book with such a long name, at least for a while. This book sounds awful, man. It's too bad we can't keep it in our inventory. Hi, Them. You're here. I was looking everywhere for you. What is it? Guess what I've got in this little bag here? If I had to guess, a young man's tears of regret. When I read the lines myself, I do feel like they're funnier. Yeah, brutal. And what would you know? It's reasoning knows not time of day, but suspense always follows a blizzard. You actually bothered to memorize a ridiculous and boring name like that. That's just because when I was filling out the paperwork to buy it back at the academia's office, I had to write it out over and over. Then it looks like this book has a new owner. Only because I subconsciously marked up the book with ink. Did you know that Tinari, Deya, and Sino all circled names in the book? And it all started because the name I circled was the real killer. To be perfectly honest, the moment I first saw the murderer's name circled, I knew this would happen. Wait a second, how come you've read the book too? I had the pleasure of reading it in the house of Dana. The logic is a mess, it's just poorly written. Oh, he didn't even read it at home. And you left the book out in the study. So you knew I circled the killer? Then did you circle any names in the book? What do you think? So you did? The second one is mine. Why? This conversation. The best way to avoid spoilers is to add a red herring. Then why just one? Tinari circled 3. This whole conversation. I already significantly reduced the probability of the murderer's identity being spoiled for the next reader. That's more than enough. No need to worry about things that are beyond saving. And just why isn't it necessary? Using permanent ink to circle a name on the first page. That's obviously beyond saving. What kind of logic is that? I bet you just drew your circle for fun. If I must say so, then it's because the circling of the names is far more interesting than the book itself. Fair point. In the end, I only have myself to blame for using up all my pencils. I need to go buy some more. Congratulations. This one of a kind, out of print book, personally penned by the hands of so many, is now yours. Do you think I look happy about it? I don't even want it. If I was Paimon, she wouldn't want it either. That's a no from me too. No, I want it! Give it to me! Oh my gosh. You guys, that was silly. That was a silly but very funny quest, especially that conversation at the end. Also, yeah, I think Al-Haytham really likes sarcasm, and so he's made it his entire personality, and he doesn't realize how it makes him come off. Truly, our autistic king. Oh, that was fun. That was fun. I don't want the Colleen Hoover story, but I wouldn't mind one marked up by our favorite characters. I also want to see the color of ink that Tinari uses.